You're listening to Supervision with a Vision, where we discuss all things supervision. I'm your host, Sarah, professional counselor, marriage and family therapist, play therapist, eating disorder specialist, and cookie lover, with my co-host, Heather, marriage and family therapist, certified Together in Texas counselor, a Texas transplant from California, and outdoor adventurer. Hi, welcome to Supervision with a Vision. Today, Heather and I are talking about having longevity in your counseling and supervision career. This week we read Love, Life, and Longevity, Who Wants to Be Young Forever, published in Psychology Today 2026. Let's see. The very first point in our article this week, Heather, is that purpose and relationships are actually the real metrics that we care about.
Sure. I mean, they kind of prove the longevity part, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm thinking, what are some of the metrics that we get confused about and we think matter, and in the end probably don't really matter that much?
What about how long you're at a certain office with a certain practice, years? Like
people care, right. Maybe someone cares about years. What about title?
Sure.
Like what if you read someone's title, you'd think, ooh, that's a good title. Like director of,
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Or, I don't know, what would be another title that you would think signifies some kind of...
I think like it's changed a little bit in the business world too. Like now there's like, before it would be like president and vice president and like those kind of titles. And it's changed more to like director and coordination person, like, you know, all that kind of stuff now.
What about, I see people calling themselves like practice... that like they own a practice.
Oh, practice owner.
And then come to find
founder.
Out. Right, founder. Right. That's a really good one. And that it's like them.
Right. It's just them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And like always has been. It's just them.
Right.
But they're calling themselves founder or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that changes like how you view it. Like versus just, hi, it's me and I'm here, you know.
What about another metric that's we might use, which actually really doesn't measure what we care about? How about how much you charge per hour?
Oh, sure. I think that is a big one, actually. I think that's a huge one.
Like, I know someone, it's even been a while, so maybe they've even raised their rates. I was at like a marketing dinner, kind of like a, social dinner for work. And someone said, it was both sheepish and they were kind of proud about it. $500 an hour.
What?
And I thought, well, I mean, I think that's more about
who their clientele is.
Right. What kind of clients they're looking for or wanting versus actually how good or successful they are.
Yes. I agree.
Because you could charge whatever you want to charge, right? As long as somebody's
but on the surface, it sounds very much like, oh, you must be very important if you cost this much.
Yeah, right. But also, I mean, think, how many clients would you even bother to see every week if you were charging $500? So I don't know. To me, well, okay, here, thinking about that other angle, I know someone that maybe it's a little bit late in the year, so maybe they've already done it recently in the last month or two. They reflect on the previous year.
Okay.
And their definition of success is how many sessions per year.
Ooh. Okay,
I've always thought that sounded bad.
I'm like, oh.
I mean, I can't remember the number, but they have a goal in mind where they're trying to reach a certain number of sessions per year.
And that seems like to them it would matter, but I can't even. That almost makes me go, ew. Like,
I actually, now that I'm saying that, to that person is connected to another person that I know, and that her goal is to see. Get ready.
Okay.
40 clients per week.
Yeah, I for myself, others can do it how they want to do it. If I saw 40 clients a week, it would be the worst therapy anybody ever had.
I think that's not a sign of success. That's a sign of failure.
Yeah.
In yourself, in your clients. I mean, that's not looking good on anybody.
No, I mean, think about if you're seeing 40 a week, how many hours are you spending doing all the other stuff, like the behind the scenes stuff? You don't have time for any of it.
I do kind of know because I'm around these two enough to see how it's working. Not much.
Oh, I see. I see. Not much is getting done on the backside. Got it.
Right. But all of it's looking pretty, like riding on two wheels.
Right. Great. Okay.
Okay, so if those are metrics that aren't really all that valuable or helpful for us to look at, purpose and relationship. So what does purpose look like as a metric?
I would think I think it can be defined a little differently in mental health versus like just generally speaking, because I think in mental health, that relationship coordination, that purpose is, did these people came to me for help? Was I successful? Did they end with a positive outcome?
Yeah, that's tricky because what if you're in a,
Right.
I mean, you don't see clients that like have success all the time.
Right. Sometimes you just have clients that see you for a little while and disappear.
Yeah. Yeah.
It does
that
get
would be hard.
it gets a little more like there's not like a way to go like like a stamp, right? Like this one's done.
Okay, well, let's think it maybe more outside the box than the way that you and I do counseling. What if you were doing counseling like I don't know, some kind of like assessments?
Oh, sure. We're just seeing them one or two times.
I think you can find value and meaning in that for yourself, or it could feel like automatic.
Right.
That I think if that's the bulk of what I was doing, different assessments, maybe for whatever purpose I was doing assessments for, I could feel like I'm guiding people and pointing people in the right direction of where they might get.
Right. I'm connecting them to people that I value. Yeah.
That maybe, I mean, I'm thinking of some of the kids that I have sent and encouraged to go get testing done. And then the testing has been really useful to them.
Right.
Like one family thought they were dealing with really significant ADHD. And I encouraged them to go to testing because I had a pretty good feeling, but I thought they needed more proof or more support to know that maybe it wasn't ADHD as much as it was anxiety.
Oh, sure.
And what a huge difference it made just adjusting that and thinking about it differently, but also addressing it differently.
Yeah, it changes the whole expectation.
Yeah, that if I were doing assessments, I think I would find purpose in that.
Sure.
What if you're doing assessments, though, and it's like court ordered?
Right.
Like you get 30 minutes with them and it's like signature, stamp.
Right. I think it would be harder, but I think you'd still have to look for like, I did what needed to be done, like for the purpose of a bigger, like I was just a cog in the big machine.
Okay. When in this train of thought, I didn't even think of that until you said that I have done that as a counselor, had to adjust my purpose or goal. For example, I was still maybe a practicum student, I think, that my site was a juvenile detention center.
Oh, sure.
And those kids, it was a unique situation that those kids were going to be there for a long time, but they got 1 hour of group therapy like per week or something like that. It was very little.
Right.
And they were all pretty high acuity.
Right.
I mean, they all had a whole lot of problems and a lot of things going on that I had, and that I certainly couldn't do child-centered play therapy in the detention center. Having to adjust my expectation both for myself but also for them.
Right.
And I think that I did leave thinking that they met a counselor and saw what counseling could do or help them with, and maybe that was
like that little positive experience let them open a door that wasn't there. Yeah, I agree with that.
Something I do also I don't know if I would call this exactly measuring purpose, but I keep all the little thank yous that I get.
Definitely. It's helpful.
Yeah, they don't come often enough. Right. And so all the, email that says thank you, or a card in the mail, or a doodle that some kid draws me. Oh, yesterday, actually, so cute. Kid brought me an Easter egg.
Oh, fun.
It's super gross looking.
Okay. You're like...
It's like, it was really cute. He brought it to me and like, look what I brought.
Yeah, here you go.
And it's like, it's brown.
Yeah. So many colors were used that it's now turned into,
So I'm not going to keep that one in forever and ever, but all the little thank yous and the little
I mean, I think some of the greatest things like that I feel when I go, oh, that was like, I feel like happy or gets a little upbeat is when you get a referral, like a direct referral from a previous client. I always go, oh, like that feels good. For some reason, when I get a referral from a professional person, I still go, oh, that's nice that they're referring to me.
Yeah.
But when I get a referral that came from a previous client, I'm like,
it feels different.
That feels different. So,
relationship. Purpose and relationship are the real metrics.
I think that goes into relationship, maybe in the field broadly, like who you're connected with.
Mm.
But then I think it can also go relationship literally in therapy with your clients or with your supervisees, either way.
Like feeling connection.
Sure. Yeah. I like
Maybe a different word for the same idea, that some of the value or some of the what you measure this in is how connected you are to other people in the field, but also to your clients.
Right. Or who, and maybe you're helping, like, you and I both have had to go to schools to help advocate for our clients' needs or how to do something like that. So maybe it's also building those, even if it's only a one-time connection, it's like going in and having that, the skills to facilitate a good working relationship.
Yeah. I feel like I have this sometimes with previous supervisees.
Oh, sure.
I was going to say old.
And you're like,
Switched.
let's say previous.
Yeah. Who wants to be called old? Nobody. So a previous supervisee, like calls back and asks a question.
Right.
Or, like you said, refer someone and says, "Oh, I had great supervision with."
Those feels great.
Feels good. Well, I was even thinking like the idea of connection in a session. If I have a day of clients and at the end I feel like, oh, that I felt like you felt connection with the clients, and it wasn't just, I don't know, someone who's doesn't feel connected, someone who they aren't understanding you and you aren't understanding them. That feels like a much longer day.
Yes.
Than a day of people who.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got that. They heard me. We heard them. Yeah.
And not to say that doesn't mean they're having a hard time or working on things. Right. It just feels different.
Right. It feels different. I think that also goes back to the relationship quotient piece, is that your relationship with each client is different. Your relationship with each supervisee is different. And so when you have a day like that where you've connected with all of them, it's like, ooh, okay, all the different facets of all the different things kind of lined up in the right way.
Okay. The second point in our article is that mental and physical health matter. When you think of that, are you thinking yours or clients' physical and mental health matter?
Oh, I write it as mine, but I get the client. But yeah.
Well, because that's what the article is really geared towards, is ours. But I wonder how often counselors are actually measuring that.
Right, actually measuring it. Yeah,
as a success versus measuring their clients' health and mental health as success.
I can get that. I mean, I think a lot of people that have done this for a while would say, like, you get to a point where I burnt out. I don't like that terminology, but you get to a point where you're like, okay, that was a lot, or I don't like the caseload I have right now. Like this kind of client, I have too many of them or whatever. But I think that it does matter. Like when you feel comfortable, like looking at your calendar and like, oh, that's what I'm doing today. And it's not like, oh, why did I schedule these people on the same day or something like that you know is hard.
Well, okay. I was thinking about, I know someone who moved recently.
Oh, sure.
And mental and physical health matter. Whatever the task is, if you have this big task that you're working on, and then you get it done, and you're like, "Oh, it's done," kind of like moving. But then you look back and you're like, whatever, sprained ankle,
hurt shoulder,
I'm going to be nursing my back for a couple of weeks now. Was that really did it right? Is that what matters?
Did that really
get it all done?
Right. Great, you moved, Anne.
That you beat yourself up while you were doing it.
Right.
That I think that is a very literal example, I think, of sometimes what happens with counselors.
Sure.
That, I had whatever those other metrics were. Like, I saw 40 clients this week. Right. Okay, but
where are you on the?
Have you looked in the mirror?
Right.
You look like
you look definitely go do something about this. Yeah.
Or I made X amount of dollars this year, and you look back and you're like, okay, yeah, but I didn't get to go on vacation.
Right. I didn't do anything for me. I'm not enjoying what I'm doing, like just the day-to-day life.
So do you think people do that? Does it factor in as much as all the purpose and relationship metrics, and also all our silly metrics, like I'm the founder of whatever?
I mean, I think it does factor in. I don't think it has as much weight. And I think it's whether you're willing to look at it or not. I don't think I really, even though I started my counseling career and then I already had one kiddo and then had two more in succession, and that takes a lot out of your, at all of the pieces. But I look back at that and I was like, I was never burnt out. I was maybe busy, but like when COVID hit and I was doing all virtual and I had so many clients, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this might be what burnt out is. Like, this is like, this is something I don't love and I'm not enjoying. And I kind of was getting all these signs and I was like, okay, what do you have to do to assess that? Right. And part of it for me was getting physical, because sitting for hours a day was not working for me. So it was like, I have to get out. I have to go do something, whether that's just taking a walk in the neighborhood or going to the gym. You have to do some kind of balance.
Like even thinking, okay, I was talking about the person I know who reflects on their year and thinks about how they did, which I think is a good practice.
Right.
But maybe aligning your metrics with things that help you or matter most to you.
Right.
That in that kind of thinking, do you think people sit down and think, okay, reflect on last year, plan for the coming year, and here's how I did last year. What do I want to do for this? And that they actually factor in mental and physical health? For the way that I do, or one thing that I do is that at the end of the year, I do look at last year's metrics, at least related to, specifically, I'll look at, of all the insurance companies that I work with, which one has rates that are very, obviously lower, and it doesn't make sense for me
to stay on there.
That I evaluate that over the year and plan to make a change in the coming year and go. I would say this year there wasn't one, but in previous years there have been insurance companies where I went, yeah, that one takes more effort, doesn't pay as well. I'm going to choose not to work with them in the future. Does mental and physical health get factored in that same analytical way where you think, that didn't work for me very well last year, so this year I'm going to change to address this thing that wasn't. What would, if we were going to do
what would that look like? Yeah, what would that look like? I mean, I think it would definitely call for more reflection on maybe not the everyday, but like on a monthly basis to go like, oh, I did this,
Okay. But maybe that'd also be wise financially too.
Right.
So to make a bigger change, or to make more, rather than bigger, more impactful change, reflecting it more often might be helpful. I said that I've never done this, but I can at least think of 2 examples. At some point I decided seeing more than 50% kids with eating disorders wasn't working for me mentally.
Yes.
So that was a change.
That's a change. Yes. I agree with that. I've done that before.
Back on that. And then I can't remember how many years ago. I think it happened just by luck. But then when I reflected back on it, I decided it was a change I wanted to continue to make, that I don't plan to schedule clients on Fridays.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And it's been a handful of years now. Right. It doesn't mean I don't work on Fridays.
Right.
It just means I'm not seeing clients on Fridays. And I think I just lucked into that. I think it just happened one time that way. And then I went, it really was useful.
Yeah.
That was, and I would say physically and mentally.
Sure.
That decision helped.
Yeah, I agree. I've done that before for different reasons. I will change up my schedule depending on what our family schedule is. And so sometimes I schedule time off based off when my kids have time off. I will change up like a vacation based off of, we're getting back in time for me to work on a Monday, but I'm not going to work that Monday. Things like that. But I think those are more on the fly. I don't know that I'm ever super reflective. I mean, I've learned to do it over time, but I don't know that I ever reflect back on it.
So maybe the biggest thing you and I would both do is to make it intentional.
Yeah.
I might try that. I might think, and especially since Friday, I'm not seeing clients.
You could add that in.
Maybe pick like the last Friday of the month or some Friday of the month where I reflect back on the previous month and think,
I like that idea.
Do I want to make any changes that would be?
I like that idea a lot.
Okay. The last point in the article this week is that connection is the key. And we mentioned connection already, but before we were calling it a metric.
Right.
And now we're saying connection is actually
what it's about.
The magic in the mix. So it's like not just a metric, but it's maybe also the thing that makes the difference, or the thing that I
would say that. And I would say it's connection even within yourself. Connection to know those things within yourself, connection with your clients, and also the mental health community and the outside resources that feed that. So I think at each point you can look at those connection points as being critical in, being able to stay in counseling for a long time, being able to do this you build it over time.
Yeah. I haven't gotten to name drop this book in, I don't know, a whole week maybe.
Okay.
What is it? The Developing Clinician.
Oh, there you go.
I need to go find it. I'll pull it up on my shelf. But a whole third of the book is focused on connection is key.
Mm-hmm.
And interesting that the way that you described it, because I would say that is also how it was used or described in the book, they talk about really seasoned clinicians. Qualitative interviews with clinicians that had been working in the field for 30 plus years. And the questions they asked had to do with longevity.
Right.
What has helped you to stay in the field and feel productive, and what is productive? And they said that it was about connection.
Sure. I can see that.
They created a network for themselves, they said, of other professionals or even other people outside of the field, but that could give them feedback.
Right.
So one, they were inviting that and looking for it, but also even within those relationships, so they had like work buddies.
Right.
That within that relationship, their work buddies helped them to be more connected with themselves and what they were doing.
I think that makes sense, because if you are in a bubble and you're not having those connections, it would be, number one, super isolating, but number two, you wouldn't know if you made a mistake or if you were on the brink of doing something, you just wouldn't know.
Yes, I totally think counselors who work in isolation for a long time, they start doing weird stuff.
Like cutting corners and just
you need feedback. You need people to like go, that's an interesting idea. How'd you come up with that? Maybe not. Maybe don't do that.
That maybe is a bad
idea. I said that this book is about, or at least 1/3 of it is qualitative interviews with clinicians that have been in the field for 30 plus years. And I just was telling someone else about it not that long ago. And when I said 30 plus years, it made me think, I am not as far away from that as I used to think I was.
That seems like a long time ago.
Yeah, like that's never going to happen.
It could happen.
Inching closer to that. Does that feel kind of weird to think that way?
Kind of, but I think it's in a reflection of like overall, like when we first were probably talking about that or thinking about it, it's like, oh, that seems like really far away. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, we're over halfway there. Like overnight. Just get busy.
Yeah. So thanks today for listening to Supervision with a Vision. Heather and I would love to hear about the things that you do that have made longevity as a counselor possible for you, as well as any suggestions for upcoming episode ideas. Thanks again to everyone who's listening. You've been listening to Supervision with a Vision. Head on over to iTunes to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Be sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Therapy Academy to join the conversation and get show notes. We'll be back next week with more Supervision with a Vision.